in the House, currently we have Councillor Josiah Makombe. I will just do a brief introduction before he introduces himself. Okay, getting a message from Chingwaru. Okay, I think Abigail, I'll give you pass on Chingwaru's contact. He's saying the link has got an error, so you may communicate with him so that he's able to join us. So kindly check your inbox for his number, then maybe help him, assist him so that he's able to join this discussion. But we will continue. We have in the meeting, like I said, Dr. Josiah Makombe. Dr. Josiah Makombe is former Gweru mayor, was recalled from council and is seeking a rerun. So, Dr. Makombe, welcome. Can you tell us a brief about yourself?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mzondo. Good afternoon, all that are here in this platform. Like what Mr. Mzondo have said, my name is Dr. Josiah Makombe. I come from Ward 2, obviously, which has got a by-election. I was recalled, as you have heard, by a party called MDCT, run by Douglas Monzola. Because of differences where obviously I am under the leadership of President Nelson Chamisa of the CCC. That's me. Personally, I'm a father, a family man, and 4 children as well as one mzukuru. I'm 54 years old, and yeah, that's where I am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Josiah Makombe. So I will be going through the discussion with you as we ask you some questions where maybe members of the media fraternity, I see some members of the civic society and members of the society in general, would want to know in the road to election. So maybe to start with, you are campaigning under a new brand. You have been a councillor before. What do you seek to achieve if the people of Ward 2 are to vote for you?
Thank you very much. I think the background of it is that the people of Ward 2 in 2018 did not make a mistake of electing me as their councillor. And I did not end just being a councillor. My fellow councillors also elected me to be the mayor of the city. It did not end there. Fellow councillors and mayors across the country believed in me as well, the son of Ward 2, to be the president of all urban local authorities. And it did not end there. All the urban and rural local authorities then elected me to be the vice president of Zilga, which is a composition of the urban and also the rural. So I had quite a lot of things to achieve at ward level, at council level as Gweru in general, as well as the nation. So there were quite a lot of challenges which I managed to achieve. But coming back to my ward, the people of Ward 2, in their wisdom, elected me so that I can represent them for 5 years. And unfortunately, a group of those who can call politicians just sat under a tree or in an office and decided to recall without even consulting the same people who had braved the chilly weather of July 2018, who spent quite a number of hours wanting to vote. They were not consulted to say, we now want to recall your councillor. Yes, the constitution as a provision that they can recall. But I think the people of Ward 2 were shortchanged. And because when I got into office, I had a lot of promises that I made to them. Some have delivered, some were yet to be delivered. And it's up to them again to say, Councillor Makombe did not run the race up to 2023. There were issues that he had promised us, and he was recalled not because of incompetence, not because of corruption, not because of anything, but it's politics. So we need to finish the business that we started in 2018. I still have got a lot of things that we need to finish. And a year is quite a lot in terms of politics. And I believe that given that opportunity, we are going to achieve more as a ward. Yes, there are challenges, especially to do with provision of services like water, roads, refuse removal, and also social and economical issues that needs to be solved within Ward 2. But there are also areas where we have managed to stick to our promise, where I've also managed to deliver as per the promise. And not only in my ward, but like I said, Ward 2 were proud that their son was doing well in terms of trying to uplift, the city, a seat of progress. And I'm very confident that they know that their son is very competent, and under very difficult circumstances, we can achieve more. So I want them to give me that confidence. I mean, give me that victory again on the 26th of March, so that I can complete what he had started. And above all, I think I'm no longer a novice. I know everything. I know what is supposed to be done. It's not like I need any minute to learn about how to represent people. I don't need a lecture to tell me how I should, demand services from either our directors or the town clerk, or even from central government. I've been in it, the highest offices in terms of local governance at local level. So it's like they are seconding someone who have tried his best in the 3.5 years that I've been in office. And I'm sure I will not disappoint them. That's all I can say.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Doc. So talking of achievements, and the year you seek, the one more year you seek to be in service, what had you achieved for Ward 2 in your tenure before RICO, and what do you seek to complete if you are given another chance in council?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mzondo. A councillor is there to represent, his ward. You don't represent yourself. You don't come up with your own projects and programs. You are given those areas where the ward needs some services. And when I consulted the ward in 2018 to say, I'm seeking for elections, what are the fundamental issues that you would want me to address as I go to council? As you know, Ward 2 geographically is quite a big ward, and a ward that has got a different, I can put it, different people in terms of how they are. You have got Athlone, you have got Riverside, which are low density areas, and also part of Windsor Park, the one that is veterinary service. These are low density. You then go to Harben Park, where you have got plots as well as a low density as well. You go to Greenville, where you have got plots as well as farms. You go to Kumorin, these are plots. You go to Kwamakari Mazondo, this is a farm. and the other surrounding areas which are farms. So you have got people of different walks, different, you know, I don't want to peg them as, but van vakasiyana in whatever they want. So starting from Greenville, Urban Park, as well as Gweru, one big thing that they said they needed was a clinic, because they were getting those services either to town. They have to get into a lift and go to town, or get into a bus and go to Wawa. And you know how it is like when you need some medical services. It becomes very difficult, and sometimes it happens at night or when you don't have the money. And this was one thing that they said, Councillor, if you get into the office, we want a clinic here. That was number one. Number two, it was also a school that all their children in those areas, it's either they go to Thornhill, Airbase, or to Riverside, or to Wawa. And if you look at it, it becomes very difficult. And some of them are not that privileged to have transport. Nokuti ukazoenda kumtapa unoona vanhu vachienda kuchikoro chiri padyo nawo chavanongofamba netsoka. You go to Mkoba vanongofamba vachienda kuchikoro chavo netsoka. You go to Ascot, this is the same thing. But for the people of Ward 2, varikoko, they had to either get transport yevana ruviri kana achiuya ku Riverside anokwira kubva ku Urban Park kuenda mtown, uzokwira imwe kubva mtown kuya ku Riverside, which is very difficult. So those were the two issues, besides the service provisions, which people want every day, water and roads and all that. But these were their key projects, which they said were not available for a very long time, 40 years after independence, and they needed those. And what I did was to make sure that when I went to council, I then engaged the administrators and my fellow councillor to say, we need to have an area where we can build a clinic. And because of resources, we then agreed that let's use the clubhouse, which was lying idle, which was not being used very much, into a clinic. We made a resolution. Then we looked around for resources, partnered with other progressive, you know, deployees of government and all that. And that clinic is at 90% completion. And when I go back, obviously, I want to make sure that the clinic is opened. This is it's about life. So it's one project that I make to make sure that it's complete. Then the second one, the school. What I managed to do was to identify the piece of land where the school could be built. And all that was done. What is left was probably to do the other administrative work in terms of plans, Chichi, and all that. But the land itself is already there, identified that we need to put a school there. So for the people within that area, I'm sure if the clinic is open and the school, we can start, you know, working on it. Maybe by the time I leave office, tambo waone nezvitina zvaaiswa panzvimbo kana kuti pakuradza kuti pakuriwa kuti pada kuzorwa chikoro, then those that comes after 2023 will be having a project to take, you know, to finish until maybe 2028. So Urban Park and Greenville and the surrounding areas, those were the projects that they asked for, and I have delivered. Then coming to Athlone and also Riverside and the Kumorin, as well as the Windsor Park. These ones, like I said, these are low density areas. Yes, their issues mainly was to do with service provision, issues to do with water, issues to do with roads maintenance, and issues to do with refuse collection, which we have tried to do, but under very difficult circumstances because of the challenges that we always face at council. But the most important thing is that the residents need to know the challenges that the local authority is facing, so that when you don't deliver, they would understand where the hindrance is coming from. So on these ones, I have also tried to make sure that here and there the roads are maintained. But having looked at the challenges that we had at council in terms of road maintenance, what I had to spearhead in the office of the mayor was to make sure that we procure equipment to do it on our own. Because I realized that even if government avails devolution funds, even if ZINARA avails devolution funds to do road maintenance, 80% of the money goes to hiring of equipment by those who have won the tender. But if council can afford to have its own equipment, the grader, the tipper, the JCB, the tractors and all that, what it means is whatever amount that you get from ZINARA, it will go a long way because you'll be having your own equipment. And that we have achieved. Those things are there at council now. The grader arrived, the tractor is there, the tipper and told is coming, the JCB is there. So that was the way that we were trying to solve some of these challenges that we have in terms of road maintenance and all that. Then on the waterfront, I think we were trying. It's a national crisis that we have, as well as a crisis of the whole city, where we have not been giving people enough water. But I think everyone knows how we've been trying to work on it in terms of procuring enough pumps and equipment to make sure that there is provision of water to all the people. But for the people of Riverside and Athlone, I had to go out of my way to also try to give them a borehole, which has got a bush pump for now, but I was on the process of trying to solarize it so that at least it becomes convenient for those people who live in Athlone. Some complain that it's not central, but I think that's where there was enough water to supply those that lives in Riverside, as well as those that lives in Athlone. So these are some of the projects that I've been doing, and also making sure that there is provision of water. But more important, like I said, it is very important for a councillor to do feedbacks to the residents so that they understand, they work with you each and every step of issues that happens in their local authority.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Just to take you back a little, you highlighted that there are challenges in council when it comes to implementation of projects. And the government has often said the local authorities being led by opposition are failing residents. How do you respond to that, having a background of being a councillor, a mayor, and the president of UCAS? Are councils failing, or there is failure in coordination or something?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mzondo. I wouldn't want to dwell much in trying to defend local authorities, but let it be known that we are a unitary state. Zimbabwe is a unitary state. The umbilical cord is there for everyone to see, from the local authorities up to government. So it takes all of us to tangle. If you see anyone blaming the other, it's only a way of trying to play politics. If I was the minister of local government, with what is happening in the local authorities, whether urban or rural, I would have resigned, because I would have been the one presiding over the local authorities, to an extent that even the employment of a one-day casual worker, the minister has to give an authority. So with that kind of a scenario, it becomes very difficult to squarely say the local authorities led by the opposition has been failing. We have been failing as a country. I want to give an example, a very good example in terms of refuse collection. And I've said this before, that the local authorities, they collect RTGS. And service stations, most of them, they are selling their fuel USD. What happens? Imimi munono badara biure ne RTGS. Kana kanzuro yakuda kuti tenge fuel yokuti itakure marara. Yakuenda ku service station yavanogona kutaura nayo kuti titengesere iwo fuel ne RTGS. Service station iyo yakuvatengesera at black market rates. So at the end of the day, people are being ripped off. What have we done as an association? We have approached government. Why can't you put the mechanism the same way you do with ministries, whereby local authorities can buy fuel direct to CMED? so that it does not become a big issue when it comes to removal of mabini munzvimbo dzedu. And government doesn't want to accommodate local authorities when it comes to issues of service delivery. They can only speak when they say you failed. So these are some of the things that I said. It's very difficult for government to say.
Still on the base. It's exactly 29 minutes before the hour of 3.
So these are the challenges that are there. Even if when you look at the issues to do with roads maintenance, the money that we get from Zinara, if you look at the list which was released by Zinara some 2 weeks ago, just check how much Gweru City Council was allocated, and check how much the rural local authorities were given. But if you compare vis-a-vis the traffic that Gweru City Council has got and what Chirumanzo have got and what some of these rural local authorities have got, you find out that the disbursement are not a reflection of what really takes place in terms of revenue that is being collected at the local authorities. So we have got quite a lot of challenges, which I know people are not very much aware of, because this narrative has been said for a very long time that the opposition have been failing, But I still maintain that we are a unitary state. The umbilical cord is there. The Minister of Local Government presides over whatever happens at local authorities, to an extent that whatever decisions local authorities make, he has got the powers in the Urban Councils Act to rescind whatever decision that the local authorities would have done. But unfortunately, he would want to exonerate himself from the challenges that the local authorities are having. So these are the issues that the residents, even those that want to, need to understand. And that's why when I was mayor, I looked at this challenge and said, the only way our city can sustain itself is to make sure that we create as many projects as possible. We get as much equipment as possible on our own, so that we deliver at the end of the day, because it does not make sense to keep on crying, to keep on blaming each other, but we need to find a solution. And the solution was to say, let's go back to basics. What used to happen in Kumashure? Gweru City Council used to have its own projects, Banago beer breweries, the bars that they used to run, in quite a lot of things. And that was the trajectory that I was taking, and I hope that these things will also continue, so that at least we get revenue from these projects, revenue that can sustain the city, even if we don't get enough money from central government, even if our residents do not pay because of the economical hardships, but at least the local authority will be having something from its project to deliver at the end of the day.
Coming back to the election run, Dr. Makombe, there has been much criticism on yourself regarding the mayoral vehicle you were using. Social media groups alleging that you took the vehicle forcefully, you took the vehicle out of legislation, and I don't know, how has this affected your election run, and how do you seek to clarify this issue of the mayoral vehicle to the voters?
Thank you very much. I think the issue of the mayoral vehicle, number one, it was just a contractual dispute between the mayor and the council. And ironically, the same council that sat down during my absence to craft a resolution is the same council that on political grounds decided to violate its own resolution. And all what I did was just to follow what was laid down in terms of the law. Like I said, every resolution that is done by council, the minister has got more than 2 months to rescind any resolution that he feels that this resolution is not good for the people. And if it goes for a year and the minister does not rescind, it means, because all the minutes, all the resolutions are sent to the minister soon after they are signed by the mayor or the chairpersons. So it was just an issue of interpretation, one, of the resolution. which interpretation I felt that it could not be interpreted by the people who had interest. So what I just wanted to do was for Gweru City Council to do things the right way. But unfortunately, there were so many pressures in terms of wanting to politicize the whole issue. Let it be known that since 2003 to 8, that's the only time when Gweru City Council was run by one mayor within the 5-year mayoral period. In 2008, we had Councillor Mfunde, who was the mayor. And unfortunately, he passed on 1 year into the office. And God knows, if you look into the papers, in the resolutions, he was given what was due to him by virtue of being the mayor. And Councillor Chimombe then took over and finished off the term. He was given what was due to him in terms of a car. In 2013 to 18, we also had two mayors. One was the mayor who is there now, Councillor Kombai, who served for 2 years. And he was relieved from his office. And came in Councillor Chikosho, and then he served for 1.5 to 2 years. And both mayors were then given stands in lieu of vehicles, okay? And when I left office, it became an issue, which to me was political, because as you know, my recall was based on political lines. To an extent that those that belongs to this outfit and the one that belongs to this outfit, we no longer, work together, even to eat together. So obviously it was all about politics, all about so when things becomes as bad as that, the only thing to do is to get someone who has no interest in your issue to just interpret what is there, and then we move forward. But it's now an issue which is about to be solved. I'm sure it's half solved. And I don't think that it's an issue that is going to affect my campaign as far as I am concerned, because this is not the first vehicle. Actually, this vehicle might not be cheaper than the stands that you are talking about, if you may ask me. Those who got the stands, they are more valuable than the car. But it's only that some of these things, they are not for public consumption, just because it will be more of a contractual issue. And unfortunately, this one became a hot potato, and from different angles. And I still, believe that even when councillors are elected into office, they are given their allowances. And the allowances of councillors as of now, they are getting 50% of the MP salary. So it means, these offices, one or the other, have got some little benefits in there. So when those benefits now are extended to the office bearer, it's very important for us to understand that that's what is there. And like I said, that 50% of the MP salary is now, the allowance of councillors. So even if you would want to justify, is it much or it's not much, it becomes very difficult, but that's what is there. So that's the issue of the mayoral vehicle. Some people wanted to grandstand it to say Joke has come to, Joke is a security arm, which I don't think can get into these issues. When you talk of Joke, you are talking of helicopters, and my AK is coming to my house. Am I a security threat to when you have the car? It was not a security threat. Joke deals with the security issues, but then it has been solved. But the unfortunate thing is that I've not been on social media in terms of, defending myself on this issue deliberately, just because I waited for the right time to speak. And at the same time, the onus was on council to act, to say, okay, Mayor, this was what was there. We now want to do it this way. And it is something that was supposed to be done amicably if there was no politics on it. But unfortunately, politics came to play. But God knows, like I said, the president is there for everyone to look at. The president has been set, and that's why I say it is politics, because at times those that are even presiding council as of now are beneficiaries of that, of what they were given in the office. But would choose not to, be ethical on such issues, but want to be political.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Maybe before I move on to give the audience a chance to ask some questions, I just want a general observation, or like, how is the election run so far? You have been in the run before, you are in the run again. Are you seeing parity? Were there anomalies you observed in the previous election that you wish to have solved now before you get into the by-election?
Yeah, sure. Quite a lot of some anomalies that are taking place. The first thing is you look at the national thing, where when the CCC wants to campaign, it's never easy. And other political parties, the law enforcement agents will give a blind eye. And once it's the CCC, everyone will be summoned to come in and stop whatever they will be doing. But I would want to urge ZEC to try to be professional. Last time in 2018, we had a polling station at Kumorin in the residence. And the Kumorin, as you know, it's owned by the Minister of State for Devolution, Honorable Mavima. And we complained about this, that you can't have a polling station in the compound of someone who has got an interest, someone who belongs to another political party. And the funny part of it, there were quite a lot of people on the day of voting who were putting on their T-shirts, and we complained. And when they were approached, they said, so to us, it was not good. We thought ZEC would look into that and sort it out. So we have also approached the ZEC again this time to say they need to remove that polling station from the compound. It would be rather to have a tent outside, so that it becomes fair to everyone. I don't think it does not make sense.
So if I can hold you there, are you saying the polling station is on the ZANU-PF chairman's residence, that is also the Minister of State of
Yes.
Mrs. Larima Vinaso? Okay.
Definitely, if you look at the polling station which were released out by ZEC through Mr. Mino, you can actually see that the Kumorin residents, mwine polling station, and we can't run an election in that manner. I would, because like I said, the last time vanhu vanga varimo vemhuri dzavo nevamwe masupporters avo akapfeka ma-t-shirts agere. And isusu tiri kuti kana election day yasvika hapana munhu anofanira kupfeka ma-t-shirts ake some meters away from the polling station. But here are these guys from their own political party, because vanopamba pavo polling station yavanzwa pamba pavo, and they tell you kuti sati bvise hembe dzedu pamba pedu just because an election. Itai zve-election zvokuvhota kwenyu ikoko tiri pamba pedu. So we have said to ZEC, if they are credible, this is one area that they need to fix as quickly as possible. It does not need us to keep on knocking at their door to say, can't you deal with this issue? They just have to make sure that they deal with that. Secondly, we have also seen issues of facing of posters, especially to do with me. I think the people of Ward 2 knows that I was the first person to put posters in our ward. But I want to tell you, 70% of those posters were either removed. You put them today, tomorrow they are not there. And we know the culprits. And we have reported these issues, and nothing happens. And we would urge the law enforcement agents and ZEC as well, when they do their live meetings, to take the candidates, to say this is not the right way to campaign. You don't need to campaign by defacing or by removing someone's poster. Go to the people, sell your ideas. It's all about selling ideas. And if they do that, I'm sure the people will be given an opportunity to vote for a candidate whom they think will deliver at the end of the day.
Thank you, Dr. Makombe. I won't spend the whole talk asking you questions. I think I'll give this time to the floor if they have any questions for you, so that you take time to respond. So you can just raise up your hand or simply unmute, then go ahead with your question. Anyone who has got a question.
You've been outright.
Okay, Itai, I think Yaukai she's raising her hand. I'm not sure she wants to speak forward.
Yokai, you can go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. My question to our doctor is that I know as a mayor, he had some 5-year plans which were disrupted currently. Saka, I know Kuti, there are some funds I found are going somewhere for a specific project, and there are things Ravakanga vasaina Ravasina kupedzisa. Manje way forward, manje inenge ari papi munapinda or you can they actually understand zvakanga zviripo or mari dzakanga dzatobviswa dzichabva dzatorasika muprocess. May you please explain kuti zvichafamba sei, because pane zita renyu parakadhindiwa richinzi pakadai zvinofanira kuzoitwa zvamakasiirira muroad, saka zvinozogadziriswa sei, because dzimwe mari dzedu dzatobvisiwa muchiti pamberi apo tichazopedzisa tozobhadhara, but since mabvisiwa zvimwe zvakabva zvangofriza ipapo, zvozoitwa sei?
Okay, can I respond to that, or maybe I take another one, Mr. Mzondo?
Yeah, you can respond as we wait for other hands to come up.
Thank you very much for the question. You know, you are very right. When you get into office, you have your 5-year plans. Some of them, they will be at the infant stage. Some of them will be, you know, at different stages, and you'll be hoping that they will be completed within the 5-year period. When I got into office, one thing that I did was to invite all the former mayors and even the former town clerks to say, here I am, I'm in the office. What were the things that you had planned to do? And they told me that Tangatine each. And I expected the same after my recall that the event band would have probably said, Doctor, what were the issues? So that at least we can do a handover, which is proper, so that he knows exactly what to take and what to leave. Because it's not like you take everything. You can take some and you can leave some. But unfortunately, that has not happened, and I cannot force myself into that. And that's why I'm also saying that I need to go back to council as a councillor, and I'll be having the opportunity to talk about some of those projects which are not yet complete. Let me just give you a very good one that was almost about to take off. It was about street lights in all our areas, be it low density and also high density. We had signed a deal with a company, which you saw some lights from Athlon roundabout to Amtech. That company was coming in to make sure that it would then put street lights across the country, I mean across the city. And it was going to go a long way in bringing back the city that we really wanted. But I'm told that the guys came back, and unfortunately they called me and said, it looks like things are no longer moving. Things seems we are going to part ways and all that. So these are some of the things that obviously will be affected by my removal from office. But every captain has got his own way of steering the ship. If it's not important to the current mayor and councillors who are there, it's very unfortunate. But to me, I thought it was very important, because one of the works of local authorities to provide lighting. And amungaiti guta rine rima, vanhu vachirohwa nembavha, vanhu vachibirwa, because nezvima tower lights, even if you look what we have in our high density areas, it's either one rimwe rinenge risingabviri, vanhu vachimagiwa, and even in low density you'd find out my street lights arimo acho haana kumbonyanya kufasitereki, but zvaingoda kuti tingotanga kuzvigadzira. So those are some of the things. But when I go back to council as a councillor, obviously I'll be sitting in some of the committees and also in the full council, and contribute to say we need to finish off on 1, 2, 3 projects that we had started.
Sorry, Mayor,
Okay.
I have a follow-up question on that. So what role do we as residents play? Kana paitika zvinhu zvakaita seizvozvo maitwa recall tichiziva kuti we will be affected as residents, because term contract yedu nemi i5 years. Saka kana yagurirwa pakati isusu ma-residents toitawo sei kana tisiri kuapprova zvinhu zviri kuitika izvi, ma-protocols atingashandise, because at the end of the day tisu tichasafa, because pamakasiyirawo ipapo umwe nomwe ane muonero wake zvichangoreva kuti city inongodzokera kumashure. So what proper channels can we as residents profa kana paitika zvinhu zvakadai? Thank you. Ndo last question.
Thank you very much. The first thing that residents need to do is to communicate with council, the mayor and also the town clerk on some of these issues, to say, we understand there was this project. What is it that you are doing? Are we going to see the projects coming to fruition or not? So that at least they would then respond to say, okay, no, tamboimira because of this kind of. In the event that you are not satisfied, like I said, we are a unitary state. The umbilical cord is there. You can as well summon or write the minister, starting with the minister of devolution, minister of state, as well as the minister of local government, so that at least these things can be solved. But more importantly, it's only that the Urban Council Association of Zimbabwe seems not to have a link between the association and the people. That was the best platform where issues of local authorities, where issues that affect each and every local authority can be discussed there, because the association have got a constitutional mandate to engage the minister of local government, have got a constitutional mandate to engage the president of the country, have got the mandate as well to engage the residents, so that some of these challenges can also be solved. So it's one area where these things can also be copied to that association to say, we as Gweru residents, we expected to have this project. Are we going to see it? Is it going to see the end of day or not? So that at least these issues can be solved. It becomes very difficult, I know, to go through these roads. But politically, mukana ndiwo wamunenge mangopuwa ukuthi kana zvaitika saizvozvo mochingoona kuti moradza simba renyu nekuvhotera wamunofungira kuti uyu anogona kutibatsira number 1, nekusavhotera wamunoziva kuti uyu ndiye akakonzera kuti tisaite problem iyo. So the onus is on you in terms of trying to be heard when it comes to elections, because as residents our voice rate inonyanya kumvika stereki when it comes to elections. We will say no to this one and we will say yes to this one. But in between, after the elections, we can engage such processes so that at the end of the day, the office is up there and even at council can understand and know that the residents are not happy on this issue. Can we please act as fast as possible on that issue?
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So as we await more hands, maybe in the few minutes we have, can you briefly just give us your opinion on the motion raised recently that councillors need to have a minimum qualification?
Thank you very much. One thing that is lacking, Mr. Mzondo, is knowledge on how local authorities are run by the residents. The residents seem not to, I know some do have, some do not have the, the knowledge to say, local authority number, I don't say, but I can't write your papi and all that. But I don't have a problem in having minimum qualification. But I've said, as long as the system that was put in place does not change, if we go and ask for all the doctors at MSU to come and be councillors in the city council, I want to assure you, I will give you my head, nothing will change. It's the system which was designed to make sure that there is failure. It's not about the qualification, it's the system. Probably some people are not aware that 60% or 70% of the mayors that we had, some have been recorded now, were degree holders. But that does not mean that some of the councillors that now across the country, if 5 O levels and above, remember, if you look at the councillors who were elected into office, the majority of them were young ones. And very few young persons, but 5 O levels. They have got the O levels. But it's because of the system which was done to make sure that we use the local authority as a war zone. We use the local authority as a campaign area for whichever political party which wants to run the country. That's the only challenge that we have. But as progressive as we are as a nation, it must touch you as a person, that you need to develop yourself as someone. I'm sure progressive angadai 5 O levels. Kana wanga usina degree, wanga wine whatever you had. Unongoenda kuchikoro wongodzidza chikoro chevakuru chichagonetsa here. Unongoenda kublock wodzidza. So famba zvakadaro. But the challenge is that urban or rural local authorities do have as of now. They are because of the system which was deliberately designed to make sure that things do not work.
Okay, thank you, Doc. So as he gave the remarks, I have not seen any hands. So maybe we can give you a chance to give any remarks you feel the voters would want to know about you. Any other things you think could push for your vote in the upcoming by-election?
Thank you very much. Like I said, Mr. Mzondo, mwana ward 2, mwana wose tese Zimbabwe. Tikaona nakamba achitamba bhora kuAston Villa, we are always happy that that's our boy. If he's not playing, sometimes not obvisa pachannel parutamba Aston Villa because unongoza kuti mwana wedu. This was Mngeche Ward 2. When they elected me, I know they were happy when I became the mayor. And I did not just occupy the office of the mayor without results. I'm sure you know that I was the first person to be recognized as the best mayor in the country. I was the first person to be recognized as the best business and community development leader of the year. The whole country, not just Gweru. Then, and so many accolades which I was given. Even to an extent that Gweru became the best run local authority in terms of doing things efficiently. It's a sign of competence. With that experience and with the background, which was recognized not only by Gweru but the country at large. the people of Ward 2 will definitely benefit when I will be zeroing on Ward 2 in terms of representation and in terms of service delivery. And I want to tell you that I will not disappoint. Where we will fail, it is very important to go back to the people and let them know the challenges that we are facing as a local authority, so that at least they can understand. At least they will not blame their councillor. They would know that these are the obstacles that are there. So I believe that Ward 2, I know you were disappointed when I was recalled. This is the opportunity that we have been given to make sure that you re-elect one of yours to go back and represent you. Like what I've said, I will be very effective, because my debates, obviously, in council would be based on what the residents of Ward 2 want, and at the same time, with the knowledge of what is in council, what has been happening, and what should we do so that we do better. So I appeal to the residents of Ward 2 to re-elect me, and I'm sure, as you know, that elections are all about politics. We are a new kid on the block, and we will be doing things differently. But above all, the citizens will be at the center of every decision that we'll be taking, which means they will be the ones directing what should be happening in the local authority and what should our councillor do in terms of wanting safe delivery, which they want. So I'm there from Citizen Coalition for Change. We are promising a lot, and we are going to achieve. And when we Ward 2, you will be very much, to have a councillor, from the Citizen Coalition for Change, a party that puts citizens at the center of each and every decision that will be taken at council.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for your time to join us and share with us your manifestos, your ideas. And we also want to thank the participants for coming on to listen and ask really critical questions. And above all, I think you have all heard from Dr. Josiah Makombe. Those are his sentiments. So you are now well informed participant or citizen, and I think in collaboration with CITE, we look forward to host more of this debate, so that the voters are in a position where they are well informed of who they are voting for, and these discussions in the future also help us to track on electoral promises by politicians, where they would have failed, where they would have achieved. So in essence, they give the voters some mentality to vote on an informed decision. So we thank you for joining us, and we hope you join us in future engagements again. That's good day to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.